What would Louisa do? She wouldn't just stick the animal on the page. Hello, it's Lee here. Welcome to day 15 of Dephemerember, hosted by Barbara from 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel from Junk Journal Art. We're up to day 15 and prompts are metal and photo, and my randomly drawn animal is the partridge. And I'm looking at the prompts and I'm looking at the animal that I had, which was this partridge that I cut out of a wildlife book, and I thought to myself, what would Louisa do? She wouldn't just stick the animal on the page. She would be doing something quite different with metal and a photo. So I thought, rather than glue the photo of the bird on and use that, I'm going to use a silhouette of the bird because I like the shape. There's a bit missing out of there where I trimmed it up, but I like the shape of the bird rather than the bird itself. So if I turn it there, you can see what I mean. So I'm going to be using the shape of this bird, whoops, as my bird. My photo is going to be from Tim Holt's photo booth, and this is the serial killer version, I think. I'm sure she would have grown up to be a serial killer. So that's where my photos are, and I thought maybe I would make another belly band to go in my journal. I have some other bits and pieces of metal. I've got some copper wire. I've got another wire here which is a brassy colour. So I'm going to firstly make myself a bird template. So I want it to be a bit bigger than this. I've just got a scrap of cardstock here. So I want to distress that, colour it up a bit. I've got three colours. I've got faded jeans, rusty hinge and vintage photo. So I think they would all work quite well together. So these are quite warm colours and this is a cooler colour. I think the rusty hinge is a bit too strong. Just going to try and get a bit of that off. Just going to drop a little bit of ground espresso into that orange. I think that'll do. It's not what I originally intended it to look like, but I'm quite liking that. Now I just want to dry that off. So a couple of cool happy accidents that happened here. The back side of the bird, it looks really nice, even though it's got the biro mark on it. And I've got an image of a bird on my piece of paper here. So I'm thinking about running this through my embossing folder, just to add some more interest. I have this embossing folder, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has like a flourish of leaf, like it's almost feather-like in that, and I want to try and get that onto this part of the bird. And I'm going to do something I saw someone else do once, and that was to put some ink onto the embossing folder before it goes through the machine. So I'm going to try that out, see if I can get it to work. The ink is down in the embossing. So I wonder if I wet it, will that bring it out? Because I'm quite happy with where you can see it, where the imprint went. Well, I think I had it on the wrong side. Probably would have been better if I'd had the folder around the other way. But, let's see what happens. Because that was black soot that I used, and I'm hoping that the black soot will activate. And it's starting to, so I'm happy about that. So while the bird is drying, I want to cut out the center photo, because I'm going to put the bird into that frame, through it, sort of thing. And I don't like those people there, so I'm going to cut them out. Alrighty, now I want to do something with this frame, and I bought one of these things. So it's an embossing ink dauber, and I bought some new flavors of embossing colour that I want to try out. So my bird is going to be like that when it dries. My heat gun is having a moment, so that's why the bird's drying, air drying. I'm just looking at the colours that I bought and trying to decide what I want. Glassy ocean sounds really nice, and I think it would go well with the colour that's there. I've also got this gold clear, and I've got white twinkle. That might work. I'll try the white twinkle. Oh, I can't do it until my embossing heat gun works. Oh, it's going now. Sometimes it just needs to be left switched off for a while. It's almost like it overheats or something. I'm gonna give this a try. It's called Berry Burst. It's a purpley colour by the look of it. I hope it is. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Got a little bit of paper here. I'll just do this bit first. Did that actually come out? I don't know whether anything came out then. Okay, you have to apply pressure. This is the first time I've had one of these type of applicator. Can always do half and half, can I? Okay, purple that side, and then white on this side. Okay, I'm just going to pop that to the side. Alrighty, so that's what that frame looks like at the moment. I'm a little bit disappointed with the purple. I thought it would have been a bit more, obvious than it is. Now that my heat gun's working, I'm going to dry this off, and I'm going to emboss this as well. I've just had an idea of what to do with this bird, because the black soot hasn't really shown up. I mean, I can see the difference, but I wanted it to be more distinct than that. I have an embossing, I've got two of them, markers, and what I'm thinking of doing is, when it cools down, to draw inside there and then emboss it. I think gold would look good in there, so just waiting for it to cool down. So I've got a bullet and I've got a brush pen, so I'll use the bullet. I'm just going to do one to start with. Oh yeah, that's going to work. that's the purple and white. I'm going to apply the heat gun to this. You can see, whoops, where it is. Oh, that looks awesome. Love it. That was worth doing. Now there's a couple of places on the head where it's been embossed, so I will do those bits as well. Okay, you can see the bird's got an eye now, and I now want to go along the edge. I'll use some of this distressed glaze, which is salvaged patina. It's going to end up looking more like a peacock than a partridge. That's alright, doesn't matter. Gold probably would have been better, but it's too late now. If this doesn't work, I'll put gold around it. I've never actually used this glaze powder. I don't think it's stuck in too many places by the look of it. I don't think that worked at all. It might have in a couple of places. I'm wondering if it didn't work because I applied the ink when the bird was still warm. So I need to let that cool down a bit. Might as well glaze the rest of this. I think I'll do it in the white. Okay, so there's my photos. I've done as much work as I'm going to do on them, unless I decide to splatter some distress ink or something on it. Okay, it's bird time now. Let's see how we go. I'm just going to do its back first. I'm thinking I'm taking too long to put the embossing powder down, and it's not sticking, so that's got a good coat there. Okay, so let's move on to the next bit. See if I can just run it through there. Okay, so that's my bird done. It's nice and shiny. So my bird is going to go through the frame like that. The next thing I want to do is add my metal elements. Trying to decide what colour wire works better. I think the copper wire looks nicer. So I'm just going to twist that around. I'm going to poke some holes along there and thread that wire through the holes. See what that's looking like. I've got that much of the wire left. I think I'll just punch across the bottom and continue that across the bottom. I had a fair bit more wire left there, so I just went across the bottom, back up that other side, and just finished it off, wrapped it up there. I'm going to pop that to the side now and start working on the belly band itself. And I'm going to make it out of this piece of paper that I used when I was inking the bird up. It's got an image of a bird on there, but you won't see that by the time I've finished with it. So I'm going to fold it into 3 like that, and I want to attach some bits and pieces to it. So So I've got some handwriting from inside the cover of an old book of poetry, so I'm going to use a piece of that. I'll just tear a bit of the bottom of it off. A scrap from the side of a jelly print by the look of it. Got a little bit more jelly print here. Got some of that. Some mulberry paper. Don't need to put too much on it because this is going on there as well. So I'll keep that in mind. I think I need a bigger piece of something. So a bit of this. That's the stamping that I did the other day that didn't quite work out. Just a scrap of the mulberry paper. Just want to be able to see everything. And the bird goes in like that. Alright, I need to do some inking. I'm going to use Vintage Photo. This edge here, I just want to scrunch that up a little bit. Luiseify it. So this will be the first thing that goes on there. I'm not going to ink that. I'm just going to mush it up a bit around the edges. Oh, I know what I want to put on there. I've got some vellum. Use the art glitter glue. I haven't tried this before. I only just bought it. Oh, it's a bit much. So that can go there. I'm going to just, once I get all these bits on, I'm going to, and before I put the photo and everything on, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch it. It's probably wasting the art glitter glue by using it, but never mind. A piece of that under there. And then I've got my piece of, yeah, right, can't think what it is. Mulberry paper, that's it. I'm thinking that I'll stick that to the bird though. Let's try it. But then it's going to cover up the wire. I don't want the wire covered up. It could go there. Like that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to piece that together so I don't forget I was going to do it. And go and sew this on the machine. So that's all stitched together now. I just did a row of zigzag and then a wavy line of plain stitch. I'm going to add a little bit of stamping onto it. I think Vintage Photo would be the best. I'm not putting a lot of ink on there, and I just want a hint. So that'll do. And I've had to rethink about my bird, and I'm thinking I'll put it like that so that the wire is visible. So I'm going to glue that on before I change my mind. Put the bird on there. Let me see where that's going to go. Like that. I feel like I need something else poking out of that. I don't think I'm going to use this. This is just what's on my desk. Okay, I don't mind that. I think I'll use this. It's a bit of where I trim down, trim this down to fit into the book. So it's a piece of that came off the side. I quite like that. I tear that end bit off, and I can attach that somewhere. Oh no, I've got to remember I need the bird to be visible to a certain extent anyway. That could sit there, I guess. I'm going to trim off that little bit there so it doesn't cover up that lady's face as much. Before I do that, I want to go around that with my Stabilo oil pencil. So I want to put a little bit of a outline on the bird, just to lift it off the page a bit, because it's a bit the same as, you know, this vellum piece that I put in there. I'm not sure if you see any of this, but it's there. That definitely looks better with a bit more of the bird, that outline on there. And I'll just dampen that, blend it out a little bit. Okay, and I think a couple of splatters of something, maybe the sloppy gesso. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to drop a couple of bits of ground espresso on here. I'm not sure where it's going to be showing from there. Oh, good one. Fluffy, that photo is going to cover that up, I think. That's going to go on there, like that. And I'm going to use a stapler to attach that. Just have to attach this thing. It's the belly band ready to go into the book, and I just need to find a page for it to go on. It needs to be a thicker page. Perhaps that one will look quite nice there. That's thicker paper, don't like it there. Don't mind it there, but almost feel like that some of these pages need to be quietened down a bit. I think the backgrounds might be a bit too bright, perhaps. Leave it there because that goes with that. I think I'll just staple it on. I mean, I don't think I will just staple it on, but I'm going to staple from the back so it looks different on the front. Put 3. It's probably in crooked. Let's find a piece of paper to shove in there so that can hold something in there like that. Love it. So I've got all that wire on there. I've got my grumpy looking people. Yeah, so that's done. So that's day 15. And so metal, photo, and the partridge was the prompts for the day. Okay, so don't forget to look at the playlist, which is hashtag dephemerember, and check out what everybody's doing. There's some amazing artists making wonderful creations, And don't forget to check out Louisa and Barbara's videos. Links for their channels are in my description box. And I'll see you for day 16. So day 16 is packaging, index card booklet, and my chosen animal is flamingo. That's what we're looking forward to. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and you're safe, well and happy. And I'll say cheers from Australia. Hooroo. Oh, don't forget to give me a thumbs up.